Okay, now that we understand the routing, let's start changing the templates and the controllers and the CSS so that we meet our objective. Now, our immediate objective is I want to show the income of my, say, my gym app. So it's a gym app, so the income of my gym for this month, I want to display it here. So I don't want these lists here, and I want to use the playlist page. So what I'll do is I'll leave the content, but I'll remove the iron list. So I'll go ahead and comment it out. On Visual Studio Code, you can press Control / and on Mac you can do Command / and then it's commented. If I save it, you see that the content of the playlist is gone. So, and I'll name this dashboard. The view title, I'll name this dashboard, and I'll save it. So you see the name has changed to dashboard. Now I want the content to be a card. So what I do is I'll go ahead and look into the documentation, and here I see that there is a card here. I'll just scroll this down for you to see this. It's a card, so you can choose one of the card types here. For later we can use the showcase like this, right? So but for the basic thing, I think what is shown on the top is good enough for us. So I'll copy the code here. I'll copy this code and I'll take it to my playlist.html and I'll save it. Now if I save it, I should be able to see the output here. So here's the output. Yeah, the card shows up. That's fine. Okay. Now I'm not happy with the content here. I want real figures. At least some representational figures should be there. So what I would do is I'll change the content. Okay, I want this to be inside a div tag, and I will say, you know, this is a div with a content of total income this month. Rather, I'll say income this month. And I'll close the div. Right, in the next div, I want to display the income. So for that, let's say I have a variable and in the scope. So I'll say income this month. Okay. Now I have to go to the controller and declare this variable, right? This data we will actually get from the server. So what I would do right now is that I will just hard code it here for the display. If I save it, it just says income this month, but it is not showing this value. So to do that, I'll go to my controller.js for the playlist. Okay, this was the controller's value. It's okay if I don't even comment the initial one as long as I'm not using it. So now I'll declare within the scope, I'll declare the variable income this month is say 245,000 and I save it. Right, I make it control S. You see it showing up there. Now I want it to be displayed in a type of a number. So what I can do is I can go to my code here and I'll filter it. So I know there's a filter named number. So if I save it like that, it adds that comma. I want to improve the color of this. So I don't like this color. So let's play around with a little bit of CSS. So what I do is I'll take this and I'll open it in my developer tools. Okay, so the element is already there. So what I do is I go ahead and highlight this one. So I know that that particular class is here. So inside the card, I have an item. So inside that item, I'm now trying to select a color. So I'll go to my CSS style and I'll say background color. And I'll add the value, say I like the purple color for this. Okay, but the font is not right. So I'll say font color is white. Okay, this looks okay. So then to do this, I'll just copy this one, right? Because it's not saved, it's only on my browser. I'll go to the CSS folder, right? In this CSS folder, there's a style.css in it. It's an empty CSS. So I'll create a class. I'll call it gym color A. So I'm hoping that I'll be creating a lot of classes, so I'm naming it color A, B, C, a particular combination, and I'll copy this CSS class, right? And then I'll go ahead and put it in my playlist.html in the items. So whatever is there, I give a space and I paste it and I save it here. Now let's go back and see that here. The page is loading and I have the required color. Now that I have this, what I can do is I can have multiple cards like this to just to show that what we can do is I can just copy this div one, okay, and I can now have another one and one more, right? And you see that I have multiple items. So all that I have to do is I have to add different values here, right? The first one is income, then the members, and so on. So all the other things that you need in the dashboard, we can now have it in the text. We'll see how do we change the other things in the next video.